welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Juliet. I'm a Pearson Test of English tutor. In today's video, I'll basically be talking about describe image. Now, thank you so much to all my returning subscribers that keep watching my videos, that keep tuning in. I truly appreciate you. You're the real VIP. Now, let's just get started already in this video. The PTE describe image is the third task in the PTE speaking. Recall, the PTE speaking is the first module in the PTE exam. And this task, the PTE describe image, is the only task in this speaking module that contributes score to the speaking module alone. Now, you have about 3 or 4 of these tasks on exam day. Prior to this time, we used to have about 6 or 7, but after the update in November, they trimmed it down to 3 or 4, which makes it easy for test takers. Now, what happens here is you'll be given a lot of images ranging from photos to graphs to bar charts to pie charts. Different photos or different images for you to talk about. You'll be given 25 seconds to look at the image before you. Then you'd hear a beep. You're supposed to start talking when that beep goes. Okay, so you're supposed to just speak generally on what the picture or what the image is all about. Scoring. How are you scored for this task? Firstly, you're scored for content, 5 marks. You also scored 5 marks for fluency and 5 marks for pronunciation. Now, what would the content be? The content would be the features that make up the image before you, how well you're able to describe that image. That doesn't mean that you have to memorize things there. No, you just have to look at it and just flow naturally. Now, I want to say something. If features or if the images are labeled, you don't have to start talking about the things that are not in the feature or the things that are not in the image. You can, if you see a map and they put different countries in the map, then you say, no, I think that Hungary is supposed to be here. I think that Russia is supposed to be here, when they have not boldly put those countries on that map. Okay. Now, you also be scored 5 marks for fluency, which is how well you speak without hesitations, without pauses, speaking smoothly, flowing smoothly, without any arms or arms. When you do it that way, you get 5 marks. But if you have some hitches while you speak, then you will not get 5 marks. You also be scored 5 marks for pronunciation. How well are you able to pronounce the features of the image? These are the marking criteria for this task. I want to share easy tips that you can use so you can pass this task. The first one is keep it really simple. Okay, don't make it complicated. Now, when I have my class and I tell people, especially maybe I'm having a class with someone that might have tried this exam before, and I say, can you just show me how you've been doing this task? I see them struggle. I see them try to talk so much. You're giving only 40 seconds to speak, and that doesn't even mean you should exhaust the 40 seconds. I always say keep it simple. That means you speak between 20 to 30 seconds. So you mustn't talk about everything in the image, especially when there are too many features on the image. Just talk about few things and then have a conclusion. So keep it really simple so that you will not struggle. The next tip I want to talk about is you can talk about the highest and the lowest feature of the image, especially where you have things like maybe pie charts or you have things like bar charts. When you have bar charts, there's a tendency that one will be long, one will be short. You can talk about the increase or the decrease. If you have bar charts too or pie charts, you see something is increasing while another thing is decreasing, or even line graphs. So that's why after keeping it simple, make sure you talk about the highest or the lowest. Not like make sure, but try to keep it simple and then try to talk about those things that may look significant to the image. Another tip I want to share here is that you can talk about the increase or decrease that's happening. Maybe you say in 1920, the peak went up, and in 1910 it went down. Things like that, they are specific to that image or specific as a feature on that graph. The next thing you talk about here, talk about the features of the image, especially when you're giving features. Why I'm saying this is because sometimes they do not give features of the image, just put a picture. There is one I saw recently, like someone sitting down in front of a lake. There was nothing. They just put lake and they showed a green grass surrounding. Then they showed the lake and chairs in front of the lake. So something like that. Try to talk about what you're seeing there. You can see chairs, you can see a lake, you can see trees inside the lake and all that. Those are the features that you're going to talk about. Don't try to say things that are not there. I mean, you cannot, you don't start saying it's like a picture of a river, though they said it's a lake. I don't say, I don't think it's a tree that is actually growing there. I think it's a shrub. Those things are not important. Just talk about, I see a tree there, and the tree is in the middle of the lake. And then I see that there are chairs just opposite the lake. I see that above the chairs are shades made by trees for shelter, just to keep the participants warm or the person there warm. I mean, those are the kind of things you should say. And then another thing that you should say, make a conclusion or get a conclusion. Say, in conclusion, this image is this. Or in conclusion, these things happened, why this did not happen. Okay? So always have a conclusion, because if you check the score guide of the official Pearson PTE, you would see that they are also big on conclusion. Okay, so this is examples I want to be taking here just to make it further easier for you. So this is where you can find me on Instagram at English_prep class and on Facebook at English Prep Class. Yeah, so this is the first one, which will be a bar chart. You can see here plant height, which is what we're going to be looking at. So they give you 25 seconds to look at this image. So you can see here the plant height is in centimeters, and you can see the numbers on the S-axis, and you can see treatment is on the Y-axis from TO, T1, and others. Now let's go ahead. Once you hear the beep, you should go ahead. So here we say the image before me shows the image of a plant height and other relevant information. The features of this image include the plant height on the X-axis, which includes 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20, and the treatment, which is on the Y-axis, T0, T1, T2, T3, and the others. In addition, we can see that the plant height includes 10.506, 16.756, 16.397, and the others. And the treatment goes from T0, T1 to T5. In conclusion, this image is about plant height and other relevant information about plant heights. That's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is the image before me shows plant height and other important things about plant height. You can see here from this image that the plant height is against the treatment on the Y-axis. We can also see from the picture here or from the image that the plant height was highest at 16.756 and 16.397, both at T1 and T2 treatments respectively. And the lowest of plant heights are 10.506 and 13.161 at T0 and T5 respectively. In conclusion, this image is about plant height and is very informative. So I've done it in two ways, okay? You can also do it that way. Let us look at the next image of a bar chart. This one is fossil fuels and nuclear undermine energy security. So you're given 25 seconds to look at what is before you, then before you can start describing it. And let's say you would hear a beep, and once you hear that beep, I'm just going to go ahead because there's no beep here. The image before me shows fossil fuels and nuclear undermine energy security. The features of this image include energy sector, waste, agriculture, industry, and transport. And it talks about Ukraine's greenhouse GHG emissions by sector 2015. In addition, energy sector was the highest at 55%, followed by industry at 17%. The least sector here includes the waste at 4%, and the agriculture at 14%. In conclusion, this is a very informative image as it's focused on fossil fuels and nuclear undermine energy security. So you can see, because I didn't take my time to look at the image, I was touching at some point, which is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to speak fluently without pauses and hesitation. And this is the last one, which is a story of a house image, a colorful house. And this one doesn't have features because in the exam, you could see this kind of image without features. So you're expected to just describe the image that is before you. So the image before me shows a colorful house, and in this image, it's very obvious that there are many windows and there's just an entrance to this window as shown as to this image as shown by the image. You can see that there's a flag right in front of the entrance, and the entrance shows like there's going to be a reception. There are flowers planted right in front of this colorful house, and there are numerous windows to this colorful house. In conclusion, this image is about a colorful house. Another important information like that of a flag and all the windows inclusive in the house. So you see, these are different ways you can do this. Why I decided to just talk about it randomly is so that you can see that you can talk about it in different ways. Now we have templates, but those templates are not cast in stones. That means you can just talk about what is before you without pauses and hesitations. Yeah, I hope it makes sense to you. Hey guys, so that is how you're going to go about describing the image. I really kept it simple. Remember that this is a speaking module. So you're expected to speak fluently, you're expected to speak without hesitations, and you're expected to pronounce the words very well. Stick to the content of the image. Don't try to bring in your own content. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, what are you waiting for? Find me there at English_prep class and on Facebook at English Prep Class. Thank you if you're new here on my channel. I really appreciate you. But please remember to click on the subscribe button and turn on your bell notification if you like my content. And if you haven't seen my short video series, which is also very good content, you can also check out my videos there. I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Bye.